Hello and welcome. Another edition of Coach's Corner, where each and every Thursday we take a few minutes to spend with college coaches all over the country, all levels, all divisions. And Coach Serrano is knee deep in fall baseball this time of year. So I'm kind of taking over the helm today. And today I'm joined, within the greater New England area, there are many storied traditional programs, not only in the ACC and the Atlantic 10. We're going to talk with the University of Rhode Island pitching coach, also helps up with a little bit of the recruiting, and David Fischer. And David is a former college pitcher at UConn, minor league pitcher. So he's going to be able to offer great insight. And first and foremost, thank you, David, for taking the time to join me this morning.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking.
And I would love to start out. I think personally, I have a stepson that attended URI, but the campus is one of the most beautiful and located in probably one of the most spectacular areas in the country. So let's start there. What makes URI a great university with regard to a collective college experience?
That's a great question. I think that's kind of what makes our university special, if I'm being honest. I think just with the landscape right now in college athletics, that college experience component is kind of lost on some kids. And I know that was a big part of why I chose the school that I went to, was it felt like a college. It felt like everyone was working in the same direction, whether it's athletically, academically, whatever it was. But URI does a really great job of combining everything into a great experience for the student athletes and just the regular students as well. But yeah, we're 3 or 4 miles from the ocean, right down in Kingston, Rhode Island. All of our kids live down once they move off campus, basically right on the beach in Narragansett. It's some beautiful off-campus housing. I still don't understand how the people that rent the homes out to them, their summer homes, rent them out to these college kids over the fall, winter, spring. But it's an awesome experience for the kids. They're living in these beautiful homes. They're living down at the beach. It's about a 10-minute ride into campus. And then obviously our campus is been around for a long time too, and is a beautiful, beautiful campus, 16,000 students on a huge sprawling New England landscape. So just like many of the other big New England state schools, it's got a lot to offer. But locationally, I don't think it's tough to beat in New England, for sure. Very tough to beat.
Well, a lot of parents and a lot of student athletes from across the country, we get lost in a sea of, what we think are these big time college programs. We don't talk enough about the balance. We focus so much on the athletics. And I can promise you, as a parent, URI has always been a campus that has always, really been attractive to me with regard to their academic strength as well as their geographical location. And so, David, I would love for you to kind of start us off, because I get a lot of parents that are asking me now about arm care and the importance of arm care. And I don't want to go down the road about balls and velo. I really want to talk about arm care. We're in the off season. So can you walk parents through what a URI pitcher might be doing like during the off season to take care of their arm, but more importantly, build it back up?
Yeah, good question. I think that's pretty much the constant battle college coaches, high school coaches are working with, because obviously most kids now have somewhere they're training outside of just what we're doing with their school. And I like that. I want them to have a place where they can train and get better and have a coach that they trust outside of me. They're going to have a million pitching coaches in their life. They got to be able to kind of apply and take different things from all of them. But from a arm care standpoint for us, I work a lot and have learned a lot through Eric Cressy, Mike Reinhold in the past. So I take a lot of their things to heart. It all starts in the weight room, though, pretty much. Right now, this time of year, still our fall season for us. It's 3 days a week in the weight room. It's kind of depending on when you're throwing and when your bullpens are, but there'll be some maintenance lift or maybe a prep lift if you're going into the day throwing a bullpen, and then you'll get kind of a main lift after that if you still need it. But that's generally where we're starting a lot of the arm care. We're building that in throughout the weight room with our new strength coach we just got this year. His name's Jack Hertz. Came up from IMG Academy. He's doing a great job with that. But being my 8th year here now, 4th year as pitching coach, we've kind of got some systems in place with the arm care. So it's been great, but it all starts in the weight room. And I know for myself, and I'm sure your son too, us tall, skinny guys when we're younger, it's just strength. It's just a strength component for most guys to start. So I think from the most basic standpoint for parents is understanding that, yeah, you can go to some specialized sports specific guy to do all this perfect arm care, but I think the best arm care for most kids is just getting in the weight room and getting strong first and foremost. Now, once they get to my level and they have that base and the volume goes up, that's where I think understanding volume control, understanding what you need to do post throw and the day after throwing, and maybe some stuff to get you prepped from a pre-throw standpoint, that's where I get to come in and help out with the guys. So some stuff we do is I talk a lot about primers and kind of getting ourselves set up and moving in the right directions, whether that's through plyometrics. Obviously plyo balls are a huge component now in these kids' education, baseball education, I guess we'll say. And teaching's a big part of that. So getting them to understand why we're doing their arm care is important. But traditionally, what we do every day post throw, the next day is partner manuals. We kind of teach the guys. It's something I learned while I was rehabbing up at Champions Physical Therapy up in Waltham, Massachusetts. Mike Reinold, Lenny Macrina running that show up there. Great guys. But it's manual therapy. And I think that's something that really helps our guys kind of just reboot the arm, post throw, go through some good stuff to just get the blood flow back and the strength back, some of that eccentric strength work after being real aggressive after a throwing day. So that's kind of our main component. And then from there, I actually take the time and build out individual plans for each of our guys. So depending on if you're a guy who maybe needs a little bit more back work, or hey, maybe we need it's not so much arm care, but we just need to do tissue quality stuff, some manual therapy, some good mobility work. All of it is kind of encompassing in arm care. So I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, but it's such a broad question that it's tough to just say, hey, one guy's doing this, one guy's doing that. And so I work with them all kind of on an individual basis, but the manuals and the weight room for us are kind of the biggest core from when it comes down to that.
Now, with manuals, can you kind of explain that a little bit? So just because
Sure.
I know the comment was going to come in about what is manual therapy and how do I apply that to my young pitchers now as far as at the high school level?
Yeah. So it's obviously something that is best done with an athletic trainer. So we have a bunch of our athletic trainers awesome here. He does a great job with them. He's scheduling that out with them kind of post throw around their schedule when they can get in the training room. But essentially what it is going through the range of motions. And instead of having like a band, we'll say, which is kind of the normal kind of way a lot of kids will get loose or warmed up, or it'll basically just be kind of some manual resistance, both sides. We'll do stability, stuff like this. But there's a bunch of different options. It's hard to explain, I guess, unless you're.
I think it's important that parents understand this is something that can be done with a teammate as far as various resistance drills. Mm-hmm. Also, if you have an athletic trainer or access to a trainer, whether you do PT personally or within your high school or travel program, I guess, I think that's important to know. A little bit about, do your pitchers, a lot of parents want to know, is it good for younger pitchers to take time off from throwing? Put the ball down, whether you're playing another sport or just in the weight room. Is it okay or advisable, in your opinion, to kind of put the ball down for a period of time, whether it's 4 weeks or 8 weeks?
Yeah, I think, again, that's case to case. But yeah, I was a kid. I played 3 sports my whole life. I grew up in upstate New York. You don't have access to outside facilities when it's 20 degrees and snow on the ground. I know Massachusetts, Rhode Island, all New England's very much the same. But I value kids that play other sports. I actually tell our guys, hey, go shoot some hoops. Go. I was a big volleyball player, so I would say, hey, go smack some volleyballs for myself. And a lot of the ability that these kids get on the baseball field has come from places outside of baseball, so other sports. But I think there's a ton of value in shutting down and learning from another coach, whether that be basketball, football, whatever. I think it's important. So I guess from a shutdown standpoint, 4 to 8 weeks, I tend to go with like a 6-week shutdown when I do shut down guys. Some of our older guys kind of will do a soft shutdown where they're still moving the arm, but we're just keeping the intent really low. We don't want to kind of lose some of the good adaptations that we got, and we kind of want to stay in sync going into the season. But those are the guys that have been through a couple college seasons already, kind of understand what they need to do to feel great going into a season and how to kind of take care of themselves in the off season. But yeah, I think it's important to shut down a little bit at some point, especially at the younger age groups, because I know for yourself, and you're dealing with a lot of youth parents, but it's kids can get worn out. Kids can get tired of playing baseball. And I know for me, having a few other sports to play, it taught me spatial awareness skills that I might not get in baseball in like a basketball or a soccer sense. But they all apply to baseball. And I think some of that's lost a little bit in our sport now with just how much year-round play there is. And I just grew up differently than that, essentially. And I grew up shutting down every year. Volleyball, I guess, was kind of a soft shutdown for me. I'm still swinging and doing that all the time. But it is important to shut it down, I think, probably at least in some component, whether it's that soft shutdown or that 4 to 8 week shutdown, kind of like you said. So,
well, I want to let parents know that, URI, everything in reference to URI baseball, whether it be their schedule, their roster, their contact information, anything to do with contacting the coaches, the camps, things of that nature are available in the Baseball Blue Book app. Really just brand new, all renovated, available in your app store at Google and Apple. I highly encourage you, if you're looking to contact Coach Fischer, anyone at URI with regard to taking a visit potentially or getting on their radar athletically, I advise you